Hello, everybody. My name is Harold Games, and welcome back to another episode of my NCAA Basketball Imperialism series. Now, this is not an original idea. I got this idea from NattyKash. His channel will be in the description of every single video of this series. All credit goes to him. Basically, this is a series where if you've seen Imperialism, then you know what this is. But if you haven't, real quickly, let's say we have North Dakota State going off against South Dakota State. North Dakota State wins. They will not only keep their land that they have, but they will expand they will take over all of South Dakota State's land, and so on, until we get two teams left. And the winner of the entire Imperialism, I will buy a t-shirt of the team. It won't be like a dinky $10 shirt. It'll be a decent amount and make sure that we get a good shirt. But also noted, as Sam Houston State will be our first team attacking today. If you remember, in episode 3, we were down to 198 teams, I believe. Now, something happened to the wheel. It didn't save properly. So there's a lot more teams on here than what there should be. And rather, instead of me taking 2 hours out of my day to go through each and every video to make sure the right team is eliminated, I'm just going to eliminate them as we move along. But Sam Houston State, the Bearcats, which they are not on here, so there is your first. There is our first team that we can get rid of pretty easily. So the Bearcats are gone. That's going to happen from time to time. Seton Hall, are they gone? I believe they expanded last time. Unless they played against Penn State. Pirates. I'm looking. I don't see Seton Hall. So I believe Seton Hall has been eliminated from the tournament. I believe Penn State might have expanded. I'm looking. I do not see Seton Hall on here because it's a Pirates logo. They're a Big East team. Yeah, it does not look like they expanded. So that's good luck for us. That's two teams that we can get rid of quite easily. Now, for some reason, I do not realize that they were gone, that they were on there, and I'll make sure that they get added back on. The Trojans, I believe, are also another team, so this is actually making work easy. Yeah, the Trojans are also eliminated. These are teams that have already been eliminated. So that's another team that's gone. There was quite a few teams that were eliminated that are still on here. Norfolk State. Now I have to look up where this is because I don't know exactly where Norfolk State is. Is it in the New England region? And it's in the Virginia region. Oh, I know where that's at. They actually have a decent amount of land. It's right here. Norfolk State. Now they can't go expand into the Atlantic, but they can go up to this play Hampton, Old Dominion, or North Carolina State, which I realize I did not properly fill in parts of their land, including this area right here. This area is NC State's land. So let me do this before we spin the wheel and check out who Norfolk State will be playing. Not the wheel, the arrow. The arrow is pointing west, which that is going to be, from the logo-wise, Old Dominion. So Norfolk State against Old Dominion facing off in our first official game of this episode. Episode 5, I believe. So Old Dominion. Here we go. And then we need to do Norfolk State first. Because Norfolk State will get home court advantage. Now I need to find Old Dominion, which is right here. And home court advantage of Norfolk State. Basically, by the way, the team that gets landed on will be the home team and will get home court advantage, which Norfolk State, they just took off with it in the second half. They dominated. Old Dominion won actually more times than Norfolk State in the simulations, but this was just the second time that Norfolk State dominated in the win. So Norfolk State will expand a little bit onto Old Dominion's land. So congratulations to Old Dominion. Norfolk State apology to Old Dominion fans who are out here watching my videos. If you are watching my videos, but your expansion dream is no more. So Norfolk State, they will pick up a small chunk of land, but it's something nonetheless. A lot of these New England region, Northeastern region teams are going to have to start from somewhere. And you're starting off in a pretty decent chunk of land. It's not much, but it's not nothing. Moving on. Really, for any team, you're going to have to expand in this region. It's not going to be easy. So Norfolk State just gets a little bit bigger of an expansion. We will go back to the wheel. We will keep Norfolk State, but Old Dominion, the Monarchs, are no more. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Okay. Sometimes I'm going to do that because sometimes the recording software does conk out. And we are having the Buffalo Bills. I think they've already been eliminated. If I remember correctly, the Bonnies got them. And yes, the Buffalo Bills are eliminated. So we can remove them. It's nice that we're getting some teams that we can remove early on in an episode. Purdue, another rare Big Ten team, it seems like. But they have a lot of places they can go. They can now play Indiana. They can play, can't remember this team. They could play Purdue, Fort Wayne, Notre Dame, Valpo, Illinois, or Butler. So this will be pretty cool to see. Where will the Boilermakers attack? They will attack Southwest, which by the logo is the Fighting Illini. So this is a really big rivalry. It's not really a rivalry, but it's a really big Big Ten game. So the Boilermakers against the Illini. The Boilermakers do get home court advantage. Purdue against the Fighting Illini. Here we go, home court advantage for Purdue. Who will pick up this win? It is Purdue by 2, and it was close all the way until the end, probably with about 10 seconds left. And looks like Purdue did get out to a decent lead. So did Illinois, but both teams just couldn't, or Illinois just couldn't fight back. A ton of simulations, and majority was won by Purdue, including this one. So I'll tell you how much this website runs. So Purdue will expand their land slightly into Illinois. They will go west. Fighting Illini have no chance to expand their land, which I'm happy because I don't want to buy a Fighting Illini shirt. So Purdue will get a decent part of eastern Illinois. They will slowly expand into central Illinois as well. My congrats to the Boilermakers. Apologies, but not really to the Illini fans. Not really my favorite team, so yeah. But Purdue will move on. It was a close game, but I'm happy. So Purdue, and like I said, we're basing this off of the logo, and then I will adjust logos so it's easier. But now we will consider Chicago State northwest of them. The arrow has to be like really northwest. And anything slightly northwest, that's still going to be Valpo's land. So there is a Big Ten school moving on. Fighting Illini will not move on They won't get a chance to. They're done after one. Next team on the list is Northeastern Huskies. Now, if I believe correctly, I believe Northeastern has been eliminated. They're a red NE, but just to be sure, I'm going to make sure I know what logo I'm talking about. Northeastern, yeah, it's a red. It's just a red N. Near Boston College, which I believe is still alive. No, Boston College was up here, and Northeastern is not on here. So unless they are up here, so no, I believe Northeastern is done. I don't remember who they lost to, but Northeastern is no more. They're by Boston College. I don't see them, so Northeastern is gone. Next team to play, Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions, which I believe I remember what they look like. Yeah, that's them right there. Pine Bluff. That's actually a decent chunk of land. So they have different places to play against: Grambling, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Monroe, Ole Miss. They can technically play against Arkansas State, but majority of this land is blocking the way. So where will the Pine Bluffs be attacking to expand? They will be going to the northeast, which will be Ole Miss. So Pine Bluff going up against Ole Miss. And I know it doesn't really make sense how the attacking team is considered the home team, but still, Arkansas Pine Bluff going up against Ole Miss. That's just my rules. I like keeping it different. Ole Miss. I don't expect Arkansas Pine Bluff to win this one, though, even with the home court advantage. And yeah, look at that. That guy actually was bad. Not a good game at all. Only one simulation was run. Simulation was like, yeah, there's no chance for Pine Bluff. 47-14. Wow. So Ole Miss, they will once again expand their land by a decent amount and take over this Arkansas Pine Bluff region. Well, congratulations to Ole Miss. You pick up your second expansion, I believe, or maybe their third. I believe it's just their second now. So congratulations to Arkansas Pine Bluff. To Missouri Ole Miss, not Arkansas Pine Bluff. Ole Miss is making their slow expansion to the southwest. I know I'm cutting off some of this, I believe, Louisiana Monroe land, but that won't make a difference. Looks like my birds calm down too. So Ole Miss does expand, rightfully so, after picking up a dominating victory. Again, sorry for the not talking as much. Sometimes I get tired by talking a lot, and I'm trying to conserve my energy for my last episode I'm going to record today because I still want to do one more after this. Yeah, congratulations to Ole Miss. You pick up I believe, your second expansion of land. I don't think this is your third, based off of the drawing. But yeah, congratulations to Ole Miss. As you move on, Pine Bluff, you're gone. Apologies. The next team to fight is going to be the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. So we don't really have to go that far. Just going on Ole Miss. They cannot expand the Louisiana Tech because Louisiana Monroe is in the way. And by the way, like I said, we're going off the center of the logo, not where the land is at. So Ole Miss cannot attack Louisiana Tech yet. Just yet. You'll see where Louisiana Tech will go. They will go straight south, which is against the Raging Cajuns. Although, hold on. It is slightly southeast, southeast, which if you go from the logo, still be the Raging Cajuns. So this is a battle for a decent chunk of land if Louisiana Tech can win it, or it'll be the Raging Cajuns, which I'm going to have to cross off a border here if the Raging Cajuns win so I can separate these two red teams. But looks like, so Tech against the Raging Cajuns. Louisiana Tech going against, I think it's just Louisiana. Oh, this might be another one of those teams, but I don't have just Louisiana. Wow. Okay, well. Louisiana Raging Cajuns basketball. 27-7. Went against Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech basketball. And looks like Louisiana, that's women's. I need the men's. The women's in the NIT, that's good for them, but I need the men's. How well do they do? Should tell me about it. They went 15-18. So, unfortunately for Louisiana Tech, they will not be able to expand in their first attempt. So, the Raging Cajuns will once again gather more land. And once again, I'm going to have to be careful with this border because I want to mix up Ole Miss and Raging Cajun. So I will put a border, a black border, kind of separating the two right there. There we go. That way, don't have to worry about that. Hopefully I don't forget. Hopefully I don't color over it either. Hopefully we can get to the point where one of the two teams plays against each other, so we can we won't have to do anything for coloring. We'll just have to get rid of the border and the logo. But congratulations to the Raging Cajuns. Unfortunately for Louisiana Tech, you are not going to be moving on in Imperialism. So next team in Imperialism to attack is the Stanford Cardinals, which I believe they have already been eliminated. Which, yes, they have. I believe this was the team that beat them. So Stanford is gone. And the next team to attack is North Carolina Central Eagles. Thought we might have gone a Tar Heels battle, but Eagles, which I'm assuming it's this team, but we gotta look up which team it's at. North Carolina Central. They don't really have Or next to Duke, which I think this is them. I believe that's them right here. So next to Duke, and that would make sense. So yeah, that'll make sense. So spin the wheel, and it's Southwest. Can I drag this? No, okay. Southwest, which that's going to face them off against Duke. So the North Carolina Central Eagles right against Duke. So this will be interesting. I wonder if North Carolina Central Eagles are even in the simulation. Hopefully they are. North Carolina Central they are. Okay, and then the Blue Devils. This could be a big upset because Duke did not play the greatest. Or sorry, Duke played decent this year. It was North Carolina that didn't play the greatest. Who will take over a small chunk of land? That simulation went fast, and it is Duke. They never trailed North Carolina Central Eagles. So the Eagles, they unfortunately are done just like that. The Blue Devils begin another slow expansion. This time east. Their first expansion was, I believe, west, based off of their logo positioning right now. Would have been cool for them to get south to see them play against North Carolina, but they don't. The Eagles are gone. And for this situation, because some of the logos up near the other team, we'll just basically get rid of the border using the other team's colors that are up there. That way there is no confusion over land. There we go. So Duke, they slowly expand, and North Carolina Central is gone. The next team to be eliminated is the Indiana, or sorry, not to be eliminated. Next team to try and expand is Indiana, which the Hoosiers have already expanded today once. They will get a second opportunity, and at this point, Purdue is in play quite a bit. So is Louisville, so is Murray State. Eastern Illinois is there. Butler. This team, I apologize, I don't remember. And I think this is Miami of Ohio. But we will see. Who will they be attacking? They will be going to the southeast, so they will not be playing against Purdue. They will be going against Louisville, though. This is a big game. Although Louisville was awful this year, so we will see if the simulation recognizes that Louisville was awful. Because Louisville was awful. I think they only won like 7 games this year. Indiana and then against Louisville. Like 5 years ago, this would be like one of the biggest games of the season. Simulation's already done, and look at that. Indiana just dominated. I mean, when you have so many scoring stretches, I mean, it was 40. Jeez. Indiana rightfully expands southeast, so Indiana's starting to pick up some traction as a Big Ten school. So congrats to Indiana. Apologies to Louisville. I mean, in real life, your team was awful. And so it makes sense that in Imperialism, you get destroyed in your first opportunity. But Indiana will move on. They will rightfully claim some more land. But they will also have more of a target on their back. So if you're Indiana, got to play good. Otherwise, this is a ton of land to be losing now. This is a ton of land to be losing. Indiana, I really, besides Northwestern, I don't want any Big Ten schools to win. Indiana, well, Another Big Ten school moving on. I expect Big Ten schools to get some good expansions early on, or get upset by some random school, which is also possible. There's Indiana. They're starting to expand quite a bit outside of Indiana into Kentucky. Louisville is not a thing anymore. Louisville isn't even on here. That's how bad they are. Louisville isn't even on here. Wow. Whoever created this list, think about them. Nicholls State Colonels. I believe they have already been eliminated, but I'll have to look where they are at. Nicholls State University. Colonels. I believe this is them. So that is this team. Hold on, I need to look up Nicholls State University. That is them. So they are down there. So Nicholls State, the Colonels, they are getting their first action, and they cannot go south, but they can go east, west, and north. And whoever they play, they're not going to have a fun time, probably. So where will the arrow go? If it goes west, now it'd be huge, but it goes north, slightly northeast, which from the logo, that is going to be Louisville. I'm going to center it. Well, hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's not. Actually, that is going to be Tulane. So Tulane will have to play for this part of land. So, apologies to Tulane. So Nicholls State against Tulane. See if Nicholls State is even in here. Which I feel bad that I'm saying this because they're probably in here, and they are right here. Nicholls State against Tulane, the Green Wave. Tulane, here we go. Home court advantage for Nicholls State. That took a while. And Tulane does win. They ran 13 simulations. Nicholls State only won one time. And it wasn't terrible, but when you have stretches of like this and this of not scoring the basketball, you're bound to lose. And Nicholls State actually had a decent lead at some points, but Tulane picks up the 15-point victory, and they will expand onto Nicholls State's territory and be another Louisiana team to pick up some land. Like I said, my borders are not going to be the best. Like NattyKash, because I'm not taking as much time to go over the borders. There we go. Oh, jeez. There we go. Alrighty. So Nicholls State has been eliminated from Imperialism. They will get removed. And it's time to continue on. And Iona, the Gales. They're up here, I know that. Yep, right here. Iona Gales. They will be attacking to the southeast. Is that possible? Yes. Based off of the logo, it's going to have to be. It's just touching the tip of this team. Pioneers, I think it is, but I'm going to have to find. First of all, Iona, and then I'm going to have to figure out what the heck that team is. Here's Iona. I think it's the SHU. Sacred Heart. Is it an SHU? Oh, there's only one other way. Sacred Heart. Heart University. Mascot. It is them. Okay, so Sacred Heart. That is them. So it's going to be Iona against Sacred Hearts for some more land in that northeastern region. Again, I cannot tell my ABCs. Here we go. Iona against Sacred Hearts. Here we go. Home court advantage for Iona. Can the Gales expand on their lands? They can, and convincingly. Iona or Sacred Heart never stood a chance. So Iona does get a little sliver of land, but it's something. As the Pioneers are now done, just like that. So congratulations to Iona. You move on. And apologies to Sacred Heart, you are not moving on. So that's a good win for the Gales. I believe this is Rick Pitino's team. I said that a lot. I believe Iona is Rick Pitino. Rick Pitino's squad. Gotta go really deep to find these pixels. Yeah, that looks good. Again, this little chunk right here is going. This purple, that's going to be controlled. That's going to be this controlled. This purple, that's going to be this. You can see some expansions for Iona. Let's get rid of Sacred Heart off the wheel. If they are on here, S's. There have not been a lot of S's, but Sacred Heart is one of them. The next team to be going or to be attacking is Middle Tennessee, which they are definitely on here. They are right here. They've already expanded before, and they could be potentially everywhere besides this. I believe this is a different LSU or TSU. I believe that's TSU. But they could be going up against Texas Tech. They cannot go up against Tennessee based off of how far Tennessee Tech dips down. They could face off against Bama and Vanderbilt or TSU. This could be a big battle for big land. Where will Middle Tennessee State go and attack southeast, which according to them, that is going to be the Georgia Bulldogs. So they got the arrow to point them in favor of a tough team. Georgia pulled off the upset in the last game. But Middle Tennessee State will get a chance to expand on their already expanded land. And we'll see if Georgia can defend their land properly. Georgia, court advantage. And it is Georgia by 1 point. Wow. It was at the end, too. I with about 10 seconds left. Georgia will pick the victory. It was a close back and forth game. And in fact, Georgia at one point, though, got up to a 9-point lead, which was bigger. But Middle Tennessee State made that comeback. It was back and forth, but then at the end, Middle Tennessee State actually got the lead. They couldn't hang on to it. As Georgia will take over Middle Tennessee State, hard-earned land that they have up to this point. So apologies to Middle Tennessee State fans. I guess Middle Tennessee fans. I think it's Middle Tennessee State. Your hard-earned land that you got last episode, or a couple episodes ago, I believe, is now gone just like that. It's imperialism. It's bound to happen. Biggest thing for them is that they do have a football team, so they can do. We'll see if they can do better in my football series that I'm going to create after this series is done. Right, congratulations to the Bulldogs. You advance again. Hold on. That is not the right color. So, apologies. Sorry to say it looked brighter red than what it looked like. So I gotta redo this. Just gotta make sure I cover the border correctly. Luckily it's a slightly lighter shade than the Alabama color. Otherwise I would have had to draw a border between them. So yeah, apologies for this. This wasn't supposed to happen. I must have clicked on the actual color palette in the bottom corner then, instead of clicking on Georgia's colors, which was bound to happen sooner or later. Alrighty. Now I can kind of expand this and fill it in. But Georgia, they are expanding. This is another expansion for them. I believe it's their third expansion already. And for Middle Tennessee State, again, sorry that your run is coming to an end. I didn't think they were going to be able to do well against all these SEC schools and ACC schools. Not ACC, but all these SEC schools, but they were trying. And what we're going to do is we are going to select Georgia's logo, which is going to bring some of this with it. And hold on, let me Control Z that. Let's see if I can. Nope. Some of it with it. Escape. Oops, sorry, not that. Sorry, not select. There you go. What we will do is we will kind of get rid of that and this stuff around it. There you go. It's not going to be the best Georgia logo, but it's something. So there you go. Georgia expands. Middle Tennessee will be off the board. And our next team to get an expansion is Ooey Pooey. That's what that team is. Ooey Pooey. I couldn't remember what that team was. And this is pretty big. They've already expanded before. They could be playing against Miami, Ohio. They could be going up against Indiana, Butler. But we will have to see where Ooey Pooey will attack. They will be attacking the Southeast, which is Miami of Ohio. And the Red Hawks. I'm assuming that's what that team is. Yeah. the Red Hawks. Miami, Ohio, Ooey Pooey going up against the Red Hawks. This is Miami, Ohio. They will be in the M's. Miami, Ohio. Home court advantage for Ooey Pooey. And Miami, Ohio wins by 2. Wow, that is going to suck for the Jaguars because they had some already much needed land. This was a close game all throughout, but Miami of Ohio just snuck out the 2-point victory. They only ran one simulation, but congratulations to Miami of Ohio for playing spoilers over Ooey Pooey. This is a decent chunk of land to steal. The Red Hawks will gladly take over, and they will actually expand in a part almost into Purdue's region with this victory. Again, sorry to Ooey Pooey. I know it was a lot of, or wasn't a lot of work, but it was work that you did to pick up this land, but it's going to go away just like that, and that's the beauty of imperialism. Not everything is going to be good. Some teams are going to lose a lot of land, which we have not seen a team lose a bunch of land. And we have not seen a team gather a ton of land and then all of a sudden lose it yet. But that is going to probably change a lot. It's going to happen at the end of when the very last two teams play. But there you go, Miami of Ohio will pick up their land. And as you can see, this is the current map. We're not in an episode here, so don't worry. But this is the current map. Slowly getting some teams expanding, but got to get rid of Ooey Pooey. Another team to attack is going to be SIU. The Salukis. They've already expanded a couple times, and they are running out of land. Are they running out of? Are they have an opportunity? Really, it's to play against Murray State to pick up even more land. This will be big for the Salukis, so they can pick up even more land and really take control of Southern Illinois. But they're going northwest, which is going to be St. Louis. So Salukis against the St. Louis Billikens. I believe it's the Billikens. But SIU going up against St. Louis. I believe it's I guess it might be ST St. Louis. Maybe not. They have to be on here. It's actually a good team. Not this year they aren't, but yeah, here we go. SIU will get home court advantage, and the winner is the Billikens. So the Salukis, I think this is the first time that we've seen a team gather a decent chunk of land and lose it. And in fact, the Salukis only won 3 times out of the 13 simulations. And so, and really, if you go back, it was a close game all throughout again. Salukis had it, but then they lost it in the end. So the Billikens, their first opportunity to get, and they play Upset City, pick up a lot of land off of the Salukis. And I think this is our first instance where we had a team lose a ton of land that they expanded onto. But now this really puts a target on the Billikens' back, because now you have so much land that you could be attacked from. But this is going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is a ton of land outlined for the Billikens. So apologies to the Saluki fans. I have some fandom with them because my parents went there. But still, congratulations to the Billikens on a hard-earned victory. It wasn't a blowout. It was a hard-earned victory in this simulation. A lot of the simulations that they had were not close. Okay, so the Billikens, they look at that chunk. They are expanding quite a bit. So the Salukis, unfortunately, are gone. The next team is going to be the North Carolina Tar Heels. So we know exactly where this team is at. They have a small piece of land. Imagine that they could play Duke in the first round. But they would have to go north. There are Will Points northeast. Does that get them a matchup with Duke? It does. North Carolina against Duke. Duke already has expanded, I think, just once. But North Carolina will get home court advantage in one of the biggest rivalry games ever. So, where is North Carolina? Don't tell me North Carolina isn't on here. North Carolina Central, that's not them. Oh my gosh, how is North Carolina not on here? How is North Carolina not on here? Are you kidding me? There's Northern Colorado, Northwestern, but I do not see North Carolina. Wow. Wow, that is a mistake by this website. Like, I don't see North Carolina on here. I'm constantly looking. I see North American, but that's not it. North Carolina Central, that's not it. North Carolina A&T, that's not it. North Central, that is Minnesota. I do not see North Carolina. Wow. I mean, Duke has the better record. I know that for sure, but I was hoping to get a matchup between the two because that would have been amazing. Wow. So, by automatics, North Carolina is done, and Duke will get the free land without having to play. I mean, it's my rule. That's way too big. It's my rule. I'm following it. I'm not gonna change it just for these two teams. I'm going to follow it. Sorry to North Carolina fans, but you didn't get a chance at all to showcase a potential win. And Duke will easily expand to the south. We'll actually select our logo. Make it a little bit bigger. And we will fill in this land that they are filling this. Oh, there's no white spots. There you go. So Duke expands. Next team to get eliminated is UMass Lowell Riverhawks. So that is up here. I don't know exactly what it is, unless this is it, but I don't think that's UMass Lowell. University of Massachusetts. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, here. UMass Lowell. Right up here. So we will spin the arrow. Where will they attack? They will attack to the southwest, which is this purple team. which we find UMass Lowell. Here it's Holy Cross. So UMass Lowell against Holy Cross. UMass Lowell against Holy Cross. I'm assuming Holy Cross is going to be on here. Cannot believe North Carolina is not on here. Holy Cross is. I probably missed it, which would be my fault. And UMass Lowell takes care of business easily. There was not a chance. So UMass Lowell will take over some land away from Holy Cross. Let me turn this thickness down a bit. That way it's a little bit easier to outline. That way I don't really cut off anything. There we go. Alrighty. So the Riverhawks, Redhawks, whatever their name is, they will expand into a slightly bigger region. Deservedly. After picking up a dominating win over Holy Cross. So UMass Lowell, they move on. Holy Cross is going to be eliminated from the wheel. Next spin. It is going to be Georgia again. Now, Georgia, they have expanded a few times already. They have one of the biggest land masses via expansion wise. And we are going based off of the current logo because originally, so they cannot play against Clemson, but they still can play against Alabama, Tennessee Tech, Tennessee, Georgia State. I will consider Mercer part potential attack, and they could play against Georgia Southern. And technically, this team, this might be Presbyterian, maybe, but we will have to see where Georgia will attack. They will be attacking the west-southwest, which is going to give us an Alabama and Georgia basketball game. This is going to be for a ton of land, and near the end of this video, that is going to be huge. But Georgia will get home court advantage. This is basketball, not football. If this was basketball, then this would be a game that I wish I could watch. But this is basketball. Still, it could be a good game. Bama against Georgia. Let me make sure it is not. Yeah. And the winner is Bama by 13. So the Bulldogs, they never led in this game. They will be losing all of their hard-earned land once again to Alabama. For Alabama, congratulations, because you just expanded a ton in this region. And considering you're the number one seed in the entire NCAA tournament, this is expected. They were expected to get a decent expansion, and they will pick up a decent one here. Really decent one. But now that puts Tennessee in play for Alabama. Well, not yet, though, because they still have to get rid of that one Eagle-like team that is currently in their way. It's a weird expansion because they still have teams in their way before they could really take on legit powerhouses. Just based off of the logo, I don't know if Alabama got that. If Alabama went northeast, they would have had to play against that one team. But this is a ton of land for Georgia to surrender at this point in the tournament. It's not too late into the tournament, but it's still to go down like this has to suck. If you're Georgia, I mean look at this land, man. Look at this. That is all going to be gone. I wonder if I can fill. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's good. No, it's not. Hold on. Control Z. So I need to. Never mind. Can't fill. But we can expand this a little bit because we have a ton of stuff that we can. We have a ton of land. Man, for Georgia, this has to hurt if you're a Georgia fan. Lose against Alabama. Especially lose all this land. This is a ton of land. The Crimson Tide are going to be expanding. I apologize to Georgia State fans because I'm kind of destroying their logo. Yeah, this is a weird expansion because you're going up and then down. You got like a wing logo up here. You still have more expansion that you can get, but we're gonna leave the logo there for now because I really need these teams to go away. But Georgia, unfortunately, you are gone, and we will do two more attacks in this episode. First one being the Tennessee Volunteers. So we are staying in this region. In Tennessee, they can attack Alabama. They can. Alabama can't because their logo is black, but Tennessee can. And if it is Tennessee, oh my gosh. Or if it is Alabama, it is southeast. Is that Alabama? That's going to be Clemson. It's slightly southeast, which right from the center of the logo is just going to hit the tip of Clemson. So it's going to be Tennessee against Clemson. That's still going to be a good game. And that'll open up Tennessee for Alabama. In which Alabama, I think they have the most land gained through all their victories. Because some teams only played once and they have a ton of land. But for what Alabama's had to play against, they have definitely done their work. Tennessee against Clemson. Again, another game that would be cool to watch for football. Tennessee, they're a good team in the tournament this year, and they handled Clemson. They never lost. They were never losing. So, fortunately for Clemson, they lose, and Tennessee will expand to even further southeast. So, unfortunately for Clemson, you are done. Apologies for that, but now Alabama has now, or Tennessee has now opened itself up to Alabama, and they can attack Alabama if the arrow lands correctly. Alabama cannot quite attack Tennessee based off of where I have the logo. It's going to stay there because there's one team blocking them. If there wasn't one team blocking them, then I would move it kind of in the center. Tennessee will expand, and we will do just one more attack in this episode. So Clemson will be gone. Sorry to the Tigers, but you are no more. And our last team is going to be the Morgan State Bears. I have to look up where that's at because I don't know exactly. Morgan State. Are we having a northeastern area? We have a Baltimore location. That's something new. It's going to be up here. I have to find them on the map. To look up what team they're near. They're near UMBC. There's Towson. Does not look like Navy did expand, so Navy might have played them already. Morgan State. Yeah, it looks like Navy already played them already because Navy did expand. So we will not end the video there. We will still, I still want to get one more expansion team, or one more team to expand. And we have Idaho State Bengals. Are they on the map? I think that's them right here. It's a big chunk of land. If they could play Montana State, I'm going to double check to make sure that that's them. Idaho State Bengals. That is them. Idaho State. So it's going to be Idaho State. Who will they be attacking? They will be going northwest, almost to Montana State, but they will be attacking Boise State based off the center of the logo, which is about right here. So Boise State against Idaho State. Could be a good game. Idaho State, and then we have Boise State. Two states to end off this video. Idaho State will have the home court advantage. But Boise State just dominated. It was close to the beginning for like the first 5 or 6 minutes, but no chance for Idaho State. Boise State will move on, and they will slowly expand their region out east. And now this leaves them with an opportunity to play against Montana State for probably the biggest land in the entire states, which that could be huge for either team. Montana State definitely has the biggest land that they've won, or that including the one land that they've won. Because other teams like Texas Tech, they haven't played since the first video, I believe, but they earned a lot of land. But I believe Alabama now leads in all land taken because they have taken a ton of land. In terms of size, maybe not as big, but they have taken a ton of land. So we will fill this in. Sorry to Idaho State fans. I'm sure your team has seen better days. But Boise State is a powerhouse team in basketball at times, so we'll have to see how they fare in their future expansions. But that is going to do it for this episode, everyone. Let's take a look at this map. See the expansions. We still have not had a Hawaii play yet. We haven't really touched this Florida region. Kind of went all over the place, but I'd say definitely our biggest winner from today has been Alabama. They have expanded quite a bit. But we still have a ton, and I mean a ton of teams to go. Let me get rid of this Idaho State Bengals because they're gone. We are probably down to about 160 teams left. Remember, there's not 206 teams left because a lot of them were already eliminated last episode, but because of it not saving, I don't know why it didn't, but we'll just get rid of them as we record along. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys stay safe. Take care. Remember to subscribe and watch NattyKash's videos. Take care and peace.